Yeah, so welcome to the February installment of the Clearing Call, monthly Clearing Call. I spent some time this morning getting present and dialing into what was coming up. Usually that process starts with just taking a little bit of a review of what has been happening, like just basically observing what's been happening in life and seeing what's coming from there. Then I go into like a little bit of an energy read of it, and then the themes and everything just starts to come up from there. A lot of you kind of already know my process, but I spent a little bit of extra time today because it's been an interesting month or so. Feels like a very big year, a lot of big shifts happening. I was in a call with a friend that I haven't talked to since probably around summertime last year, and we were catching up. And when he shared his update, it was like, wow, like again, another massive switch of shift and change in events, life events and stuff like that. So it kept to the theme of the 2025 theme of shedding, the year of the snake shedding type of feel. And it's nice to catch up with people. What Jody and I are doing a lot of right now is actually reconnecting more with people. Uh, just going in to our socials and just checking in, saying hello, whatever, and just expanding our reach has been a big theme especially for the first quarter in this year, but also getting out physically to see people. We got out to Markham to one of the co-working spaces, and she was celebrating her 10 year of that business. And we've made some really neat face-to-face, in-person connections with people we've never met before. We were in another meeting. We were in a live barter it meeting in Beamsville. Um, Full room of how many people? 50. There's about 50 people. We didn't know any of them. So we're really expanding our reach and meeting and connecting with new people. So I think that's definitely been a theme for us kicking off the year. So that's a big part that we're definitely checking that off. So just to give a little bit of an update as well, and take mental note. Throw stuff in the chat as I say this. Let me know if this is vibing for you, if this is happening for you at all. Um, for us, both Jody, myself, Ryan, um, we've been, struck with some seasonal illness, coughing, sneezing, all that stuff, lingering. It's been annoying, but we're getting over it. So illness has kind of like slowed down some of the energy in our space. Jody just she's totally fine, but she got in a car accident a couple weeks ago. Just weird things like this happening. It's all getting taken care of right now, but I've been experiencing family challenges as well. Some of you already know that Ryan broke his collarbone. He's healing up. He's back in on the ice, modified practice now. So there's a lot of things that are been going on at the personal level that also trickles into business, trickles into the energy shifting and the amount of energy we have to output and to expand. Um, which is also kind of a result. Although it's been like a mission of ours to connect with more people, we've been actually needing the connection, especially the in-person connections. As much as it takes, a little bit of effort to get in the car, drive. Sometimes we got to drive a little bit further, but once we get there, it is actually nice to just connect with people and especially other entrepreneurs and connect and relate that way. So. If there's any of this is kind of coming up for you guys as well, I don't know. Marlene's not really dealing with the freezing weather that we're dealing with right now, but it is
That's
kind
true.
of a yeah, it is
No,
kind of
sorry. I was really sick though. I still got
yeah,
sick even out here, and it's gross to have a fever when it's like 30 degrees outside too.
yeah.
Like it's not good.
Yeah, so if you've been noticing some things that you don't really have control over that are coming up that you have to tend to, just the other day I was getting ready to do my DMs and we were getting ready to start our day. I finished doing something by the sink, turn, and my foot goes into a puddle of water. by the sink, and I open up the thing, and there's a huge leak underneath the sink in the kitchen. And this is my morning now. I got to deal with this, right? So, turned out it got sorted out, but like it's just these little things, right? So, just kind of nagging and picking at I think it's reminding us too. I told Jody right after the accident when we found out that the insurance was going to take care of things or whatever. But when these things happen, you worry right away about how much is it going to cost, how long be without a car, all that stuff. Um, but I just told her that it's the universe reminding us how much more abundance is coming. It's just saying, hey, you look like you can handle a bit more stress. Here, have some more. So, turns out things are going to work itself out. Um, so these are some of the things that have been coming up for us. The main themes I'm gonna share energetically today. The first one is in the sacral, and I talk about this a lot. Is percentage to full charge. And I talk about the cell phone analogy of when you plug in your phone, it's got to hit around 80+% before you unplug it, or else it's not optimizing the battery and the ability to charge and last long enough for you. So, if you were to like think about even just right now or in the last in for this week, like, um, how often are you at least 80% full charge? Because just recently, just with this illness, I realized that last week I had some opportunities to sleep in more, nap more, just more downtime, and I just surrendered to that. One day, I think I napped 3 hours, and it did not impact my night sleep at all, which shows me that I needed the sleep. So I have not been allowing myself to go to full charge. Although I feel like I'm all right to just function, but I'm still fighting this illness and stuff. So, um, how often are you getting to full charge? Are you allowing yourself to get to full charge? Especially when there's less sunlight, except in Costa Rica, but there's less sunlight here. It's colder. It's like we're being squeezed. So we got to allow for all the other things that we can do to offset, that those changes that are different from the summer energy, right? Um, so how often are you getting 80+% full charge, right? Um, this is something to consider when we're out there generating our businesses, doing the outreach and all of those things, and delivering to clients or creating, right? So, um, how often is that happening? And think about what it is that you require to get there. Um, the second thing is, what is the impact on your personal life, and your business when you're not at full charge? And what is the impact when you are at full charge? Like, when I'm at full charge, I have a lot of reserves. Something comes up, no problem, I'll take care of it. Um, I'm completing tasks very easily. I'm not avoiding tasks. So there's a few things I was avoiding recently that I got to take care of today, just because my energy's been low. So what is the impact on your personal life, family life, and your business when you're not to full charge on a regular basis? And I'm talking like, you know, 70, 60 or less percent. Um, and try to think about what that actually feels like when you're fully charged. Um, and the third thing coming from the heart chakra is, again, we're exploring a little bit deeper into, um, when we're at full charge, um, how do we show up to help others solve problems? For example, in our business space, um, how do we bring value in our business? In our spaces? How do we show up and bring value even in our personal lives when we're at full charge, right? I find, with my son, I'm so much more present, and even though he's giving me his teenage vibes and Dad, get out of the room, I'm gaming or whatever, like I'm more persistent in spending time with him and in engaging and connecting with him when I have the energy. Um, as opposed to when my energy's low, I'm kind of just like I can hear him gaming upstairs or doing whatever he's doing and just going, yeah, it sounds like he's good. I'll just stay down here. Right. So it's very different when my energy's high. I'm more inclined to to continue moving towards him and connecting as an example, right? In my business, I can deliver and do the things that I plan for the day and be able to create outside of that. I get to my writing more when my energy's higher, right? So just some things to think about um, in the conversation today. So um, let's just take a. I'm just going to take a small like moment just for everyone just kind of settle in. So just sitting up tall, feeling feet planted on the ground. Um, just take a moment to maybe put your hand on your heart and hand on your abdomen, and just take a deep breath in and let it go. Each exhale, just like let go of any clutter, any resistance, anything you kind of just feel or were feeling when you first logged in. Take another breath in and let it go. Letting go, going deeper, and breathe in again and let it go. And again, and let it go. And again, usually around 4 or 5 exhales, I will feel like a little shift happen. So we're gonna do a couple more. You guys might have already felt it by now, but another breath in, let it go. And one more, and let it go. That's good. When you're ready, just come back in. I'm gonna open it up and based on what I've shared so far, just get some feedback from you guys as far as what you've been noticing in the last month, as far as like getting the year started, your energy, what's been coming up for you, what you've been learning from it. Um, Feel free to jump in or put up your hand or whatever, and we'll start the conversation from there.
Okay, I'll
Shalina?
go.
Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Um, so for me, I find that things that are coming up right now are things that have been unsaid, undealt with, you know, that are coming up really hard and fast that need to kind of be dealt with right now. And there's no more, there's no more being on the fence about anything. It's like you shit or get off the pot, basically, is what's happening. I think that's setting us all up for the fire horse year, which is coming up like very, very soon. And that's pretty much it. What's happening with me?
That's good. I like that. I like where this is going. Riaz, what do you got?
I like the way that you do the 80% because that's actually a way that I function on most things. And yeah, for my from my cell phone to even I have a lot of different tools that I use to check my body charge, my actual body charge. And when you're right, if we're not at 80% on any given day, we're beneath capacity, especially with people like us. We're entrepreneurs and business owners and practitioners. There's a lot. So for me, like what Shalina said, hard and fast is actually a good expression for what's been happening. Um, I'm not going to get into it too much, but I'll just let the group know that I have a illness and a family situation that's come up last month, and it's hard and fast, and everything is go, 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 go now, getting things done. And talking to family, talking to extended members, letting people know what's going on, letting people know that we're out of certain things because we'll be handling something. And I, I, I'm going through a little bit of overwhelm and a little bit of uh, realization that just how much other people depend on me for whatever.
Yeah.
Like I know my immediate family depends on me for the majority of things, but I was really not aware of how much my extended family depends on me for a lot of things. Um, and it's one of those situations where you just do it. You don't even realize that you might be their source of strength for many things.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Hard,
And
hard and fast. I keep going back to. I have a black belt in Shotokan,
mhm.
Shotokan karate, and that's its style, hard and fast. So I've been um, really sort of going over a lot of my Shotokan principles again.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. And without going into the details, you did reach out to Jodi and I, and we booked a call to kind of get an update, check in, and it was important that although your natural role is probably to be that solid anchor, you know, that leads the charge and stuff. We reminded you that there's, creating space around you as well, right? Jodi and I, plus we talked about creating your own pit crew, your own team. Um, when you need to lean on somebody, um, that it's in place, right? And it's a great example to anyone else in the group as well. Like when you're dealing with challenges, the door's open on this side for you to just step in, just let us know what's going on. If there's anything that we can do to support, it's mostly energetic, right? But I'm aware of you now. I'm aware of you and your family after us having that conversation, and occasionally we get to check in, right? So it's important to acknowledge that there's a human part of us too that also needs to lean on others, right? So um, yeah, thanks for including us in the conversation and bringing that forward as well. Um, Mel, you look like you have something to say.
do. I do. Yeah, Riaz, thank you so much for sharing that. And I feel like that's a theme for a lot of people coming up now. This actually came up in the circle that I had at my retreat on Saturday, and a lot of the what was coming up was people taking time for themselves, and like that was a big change that they wanted to bring in for the new year and this next like 9-year cycle that we're going into. And I remember speaking to just what we're moving into, right? Like the energy that we were kind of in before is like not like feeling like we have to depend on external sources for what we need. And we're moving into the energy of calling our power back and, really kind of realizing like what our boundaries are. And I mean, it sounds like you kind of are on that journey where everyone's depending on you. So now they've got to figure out what it's like to not be so dependent on you. And that's going to be a big change for everybody. But it's necessary, right? And speaking to what Shalina said, like we're moving away from this, like what's not working, right? It's like anything that is not working in our lives is just coming up. Like it's just coming up, right? Um, and sure enough, one of the women who took time, it was really hard for her to get here. She took the time to come and give herself that day. And right after that, something happened where she was needed. And I said to her that don't fall into the guilt trap, the guilt spiral. You should be proud of yourself for, taking that time and looking after yourself. Whatever happens outside of that, it's going to happen. And it's a test. Like, it's like, are you going to fall back into that? Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. Or, own it and claim it that I deserve this. And what I said to her was, think about it this way, like reframe it. Because I knew she was feeling guilty that she came because something happened. Her partner ended up having to go to emerge. I think for gallstones or something like that. And she felt horrible because he didn't say anything to her because he didn't want her to disrupt her time. And I said to her, well, let's reframe this. I said, you came and you filled your cup. I said, if you didn't do that, would you be as able to handle that happening? Right?
Yeah.
Like probably would have been in a worse off state. So it's like the reframe, you know?
Yeah.
And so yeah, Riaz, like I think a lot of people are in your boat and she was saying the same thing that she just feels like she's been such a rock for her family and now it's time for her. Like now it's time for her. So I feel like that message, I'm bringing this up because I feel like, maybe you needed to hear that too. So, um
Yeah.
as
I,
for as for me
Go ahead.
personally, I wanted to kind of just add on to what Shalina was saying.
Mhm.
Like I just felt like it was very January was very heavy and very dense. And I'm like just feeling a lot of what's happening in the collective and just processing a lot of that. I think it's really important for us to like grieve what's happening too in the world, like world events, allowing ourselves that space to like just really feel it and like let it move through us as opposed to like hanging on to this like stress and tension and fear about it, so that we're able to kind of remove ourselves and look at it from like above, right? Like bigger
Mhm.
picture. So anyway, I know I've taken up a lot of time, so I'm just going to pass the word now.
That's good. Thanks for the share. And I think what is happening, and I found in my personal life, in my personal inner circle too, like even if you're not uh, into diving into it the way we are right now, maybe be energetically, collectively, cosmically, or whatever, like people in my life that aren't kind of like don't think that way are also being presented with um, the breaking down or dissolving of the old life. So an example that I can share that's more related to me was, a couple years back, any programs I was creating in my old life made sense then. But if I tried to recreate or launch that concept now, for one, it wouldn't even feel right to me, but often nobody takes to it. Like you get the feedback when you're promoting. It's like, I got this great idea. It's this amazing concept. And like it seems like I'm like in a glass case and nobody can hear me when I'm trying to share it, right? Um, it's in law of attraction, they talk about it's the contrast. You set a wish in place and then it's like a joke almost, like, but they just turn it around and then universe provides you with a contrast first to go, in order to start aligning with this grander vision, we got to flush all this stuff out, right? And we've experienced a lot of that in 2025, but also we're noticing there's a lot of surrendering happening right now too with some of the new approaches we're doing to our outreach and stuff like that. So um, I think it's more than ever having conversations like this. Some of the conversations we had yesterday at that event, meeting new people and connecting and watching what I really found, or I in the past, even when I started my business in 2016, what if I really found helpful about that, just the simple task of reach out to 5 people a day is getting the feedback back from, say, people that know you that say, "Hey, Brian, I've been seeing your socials and it looks like you're crushing it. It looks like I love your stuff. It motivates me." There's that sort of conversation. Or when you meet someone brand new, like in a networking group or something. I was in a networking group the other day and by the end of the day, 2 people already like scheduled in my calendar. So something that I shared resonated, and now I have a couple calls this week, right? Um, so it's great feedback to, someone like actually wants to kind of get in and learn more. I love what you just said. Something you said resonates with me. Like it's like a signal or a clue that you're onto something, right? So never stop showing up. And again, it comes back to this 80% charge. If I was at 40%, I might have skipped that meeting, right? I was just enough percent, and it was a high enough priority. And it's on our radar right now to get to these meetings, um, to get there, and as a result, I was able to meet new people, right? So, um, anything else coming up, Jody? You shared something about speaking your truth. You want to expand on that?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that actually came up in the Lee Harris update that we listened to. And it's also been coming up so much for me for sure, and also hard and fast.
Yeah,
um and just this like reminder nudge about really speaking the truth, whether it is for you on your social media and you speaking your truth, or whether it's like in a relationship, whatever that may be, family, friends, partner, otherwise. Just that theme is just like hammering in our life right now, and it's freeing in a way, you know, like to just feel like, yeah, I'm just going to do that, and just really recognizing, understanding that when you tell the truth, when you are who you're supposed to be, when you are your authentic self, like you may not have a ton of people around you, but the ones you do are going to be the real ones, you know, and like the rest can go.
yeah,
So that is coming in so loudly for me right now. Um, and then it came up in Lee Harris as well, and I was just like, okay, I hear you, I got you. So if that's coming up for you guys, then listen, and let's all have a year where we speak our truth.
yeah. And you could speak your truth in your business communications, in your socials, and how you share in content, in your inner circle, in your relationships. I found there's sometimes in family situations, family or friends, depending on who I was with. People ask me how my business is, and I gave them some sort of like massaged, censored type of very vanilla answer, because I just assume they're not gonna get it anyway. So, which is kind of like shitty, right? It's not really a fun experience to be always kind of self-censoring. Um, and also just in your presence, in just how you physically show up, even just the nonverbal stuff, just how you show up in a space, in a room. I've learned this a lot in my in-person networking events, how I prepare myself before I walk in the door, and how I show up, how I hold myself, how I smile, make eye contact, and just be, however I am. Maybe that weird graphic or that weird caricature on Facebook that I just posted. Maybe I'm that guy, whatever it is. And people just will attract, whoever needs to align will attract to that, and you have that connection, right? So the more true we are to that, the more I believe the relationships that we are meant to connect with start to just unfold, right? Anything else coming up? Okay, so So what I can just share as far as I'll share the three things that we can pull away as far as like actionable steps. And they're pretty simple. One is when you're not 80% or more, um, what do you what is it that you need? What do you need? What is your plugging in, right? There's a quick version of this, there's a longer version of this, there's a weekend getaway version or a 1 week long version of that, whatever it is, in the different levels, what is it that you need when you need to plug in and recharge? The second question is, how will you access it? And I tell people this too, have about three different things that you can do to recharge your batteries. Make one of them readily accessible. So one of the things for me is, and I do this maybe multiple times a day, there's certain rooms in the house, it's usually at the front of the house, um, where I regenerate. I just sit in a chair, whatever, make some notes, maybe just stare at the window, whatever. That's a small version of what I do to recharge. Might be a nap. Last night I went in and meditated, and I listened to in my headset, I was listening to bilateral music, bilateral frequency, balanced my left and right brain, and then I was right without having a nap, I was ready to re-engage. So how do you access it? And give yourself like three different options. Um, and then if you haven't done this in a while, by when can you allow for this for yourself? So if you were to sort of challenge yourself to plug in today, what is accessible in that time frame? And if you branch it out to a bigger sort of gourmet version of recharging, if you were to do a weekend or if you were to do an overnight, how soon can you make that happen? Right? Jody and I did an overnight last week because we were going to Beamsville for the event, which is halfway there is my sister's place in Bronte. So on the way, we stopped in Mississauga, had lunch with my parents, which was kind of fun, and then moved on to Bronte, just checked in there, and then we went off to Beamsville, and we knew the event was going to be later, so we came back and we stayed overnight at my sister's, and and then the next morning we were able to do a hot tub and outside in the backyard, and it's kind of like a mini vacation for us. So we made a point of we made family connections, we made networking connections, we connected with each other, we connected with ourselves, our soul, and we came back recharged. So and it was just a decision we made that we're gonna be in Beamsville anyways, so let's make a little mini getaway out of it. So um, what do you need? How do you access it? Give yourself three different ways you can do that. And by when can you access it in whatever degree that you want to do it? So, is there anything else anyone can share that's coming up as far as another, actionable move they can make or can share with the group that's coming up? Or is this complete?
I'd love to hear from a few people what you're going to do this little recharge. Who's got some stuff?
I mean, I would share. Sorry, I was cooking, so I didn't hear every single word clearly, but I don't know if it's because it's so hot here or just my lifestyle or laziness, but I mean, even as a nutritionist, I have not really been making and eating the way that I know I should be. I haven't been getting all the protein I'm supposed to be getting, as a woman my age, and I'm supposed to be coaching this stuff. So I was like, you got to start walking the talk and you got to take better care of yourself. And so, yeah, the food part is something that I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna have to meal prep down here. It seems so not pura vida, but I think it has to be done. And prioritizing working out with weights again. I have to get back to that better.
Nice.
That makes me feel more grounded for sure.
Yeah. Love it. Love it.
Love it.
Thanks.
Who else? Who has like something they do as like a little lifestyle snack that kind of gets them back into the groove? What do you guys do?
I if I may, I always find it comes back to signaling strength. So Brian, you said something about binaural. I think it was probably music,
Mhm.
right? So left and right brain. So there's binaural beats as well as there's some music and signaling. So I look at frequencies and how to enhance frequencies. So very easy. You guys see me drinking. This is hydrogen water. So I make sure I get my hydrogen water. I will. There's an app that I use called Brain FM. I think I may have spoken to you guys about it before. It does kind of what you talked about, Brian. I could I could either nap with it or I could do it for 15, 20 minutes, right? And it does. It kind of relaxes you without putting you to sleep. And if you want to sleep, you can do that too. There's a function on it called recharge. So I find that, and it has different music, or it could play like beach waves or the forest or whatever that you could pick it. Um, yeah, and I look at like I said earlier, I have a whole bunch of different things that I use to monitor myself. So I just look at my nervous system signaling. So if you think of it when your charge, your actual charge is down, and that can affect your emotions, your physical fatigue levels, everything, right? So I look at increasing my charge, and I'll do that with the music, the frequencies, and as well as increasing the ability for my body to absorb these signals with being properly hydrated.
Nice. I like it. Yeah, Charlene's asking about Bluetooth for listening. I'm always hardwired in my phone. And they also say in these videos that it's it works better if you have a headset versus just listening, right? So when I do these sort of like power nap meditations, I'm always plugged in um, with the hardwire, not to do the Bluetooth as much. I don't even have a Bluetooth headset anymore. So um, yeah, this is good. So just keep making mental notes that I think we all know what works for us and we've done it in the past. Sometimes we just forget, we neglect to allow space for it or whatever it is. Um, and I think these are all great things that we can also share with our people, our clients, and whoever comes to us for help. And like I said before, when you're recharged, how do you show up? How do you provide value? How do you help people find solutions, right? So quite often, you've heard me say it before, our life is the content. When we're looking for content to share, our life is giving us all kinds of interesting stories to tell, if you can find the lessons inside of them, right? So um, this is great. So let's just ground this with a bit of a meditation and then we'll close it out. So just get comfortable and I will set some frequency here.
Brian, can I add one more thing before you go into the
Yeah,
meditation? So for me, it's always been, shaking things off, dancing things out. But
yeah.
also, I'm finding that now that there's more light, well, I mean, there's clouds, but
Yeah.
there's more sunlight altogether. But
Mhm.
if you can get a good sunrise or sunset and get that red light into your brain, I
Yeah.
mean, that makes a huge difference too.
Yeah, definitely. I've been also learning too that with the workouts and stuff and managing my body and movement, I'm realizing more and more that um, I have to build chi first before I expect to do the weightlifting workout or before I expect to do the conditioning workout. I need some in the tank before I do it. And that might mean 3 or 4 days of chi cultivation before I hit the workout, which actually spreads out the workouts, which sometimes it's only like once or twice a week. I'm actually training like, you know, I guess catabolically, right? But then the rest is all anabolic. It's all parasympathetic, recharging, regenerating. So when the workouts are happening, they're actually high quality, right? And there's reserve to recover from them,
That's an
right?
excellent point. And chi is important for like everything, especially
Yeah.
for women, I'm not saying this for men, but especially for women because of the way that we are built, like building up the it's really, really important for everything that we do. But yeah, especially for the workouts, that's a really great point.
Yeah. Yeah. Like we just take for granted that, when I was 21, it was very easy to generate because I just had hormonally everything was just, in place for it to happen. But as we get older, we just have to get to find a new sweet spot, right? Awesome. All right, so let's just settle in. You guys can camera off if you like. You can lay down, sit, whatever it is you need to feel comfortable. All right, so I'll go through the group just based on who I'm seeing on the screen here. Share 2 words to describe how you feel now to check out. So Riaz,
More charge.
awesome. And Jodi,
Clear and calm.
good. Sharlina,
Ready and centered.
awesome. And Marlene,
On the right path.
awesome. And Mel, just unmute.
I feel relaxed, but also recharged.
Awesome. And Amy, if you're there,
Deeply rooted.
awesome. Good stuff. Thank you guys for joining and co-creating with me today. And I'll drop the playback uh, in YouTube and enjoy the rest of your day. And let's crush the rest of the week. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Have a great
Bye.
day,
Bye,
guys.
Take
everyone.
care.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.